Sean Ross, who writes for RadioInsight.com, put a good article up. His op-ed column talking about the most musically aggressive stations in CHR. Now he says, this is from last week, I've read a lot about the prevailing sort of CHR station of recent years. The station where power rotation contains as many recurrents as currents. So here's the thing. And the stations I hear a lot here, if I put on the FM radio to check out what's going on, yes, there are a lot of songs. When he's talking about power rotation, those are like the newest current songs that are going on. Power rotation means that they're playing the songs between 60 and 100 times a week. Or you're listening to them roughly every 2 to 4 hours. In some cases, most stations that play power, there's the very strict power rotation of the top 5 songs of a contemporary hit radio station, a top 40 mainstream radio station, pop radio. Their top 5 songs are normally played between 90 and 120, 130 times. If you're getting a song played roughly 120 and 130 times a week, that means it's being played every 90 minutes, which is crazy, but that's what they do. I don't even know why they bother to do it, but that is something they do quite often. So let's go into the songs that they're talking about here, because I really think he puts a lot of great points here. Now, he talks about a couple new stations that have launched on the air. One of the things you got to know about as well is this. The fact is, there are quite a few stations that have come on the air in the major markets because there's a lack of genres that are out there for radio stations that might do okay. So, for instance, when we haven't had stations that are R&B related, or, you know, if they're playing like an R&B oldies format, or if they're playing, say, a rock format or an alternative format. You know, there used to be a thing where alternative and album rock used to be two, or active-oriented rock, where it used to be two standalone genres. And there were dance stations in certain markets that would be that way. Or there would be the rotation of formats that would come up that would just be whatever that flavor of the year is, right? And we went from jammin' oldies to classic hip-hop to now 90s music or 80s stations or jack or whatever there is, right? So some of those stations are not working so well. And for new music, you have CHR. And so some people are just feeling like, let's just get the new music out there. Let's just put CHR on if there's two in the same market. And they basically play the same music. And there's not much difference in either one of them. They're basically just cookie cutter versions of themselves. So again, I'm going to go into radio mode, folks. So just know I might just even pull up a media-based chart and start comparing. So just keep that in mind. So now, Sean writes, increasingly we've seen an odd compromise where Blinding Lights by The Weeknd and Adore You by Harry Styles are in power forever. That means they're always played in the main rotation. And the songs, no matter how old or worn out they've gotten, they just stay up there. And people might get tired of it, but they're going to still see it and hear it. Now, not even so much Adore You, but Harry Styles' Watermelon Sugar has been out there for a long time, okay? Just saying. I look at the current media-based top 40 when it comes to pop. When you look at the songs that have been out there, Adore You is still top 10 right now on that chart for top 40, which is crazy. Because when you look at the charts for the Billboard Hot 100 and for how long some of these songs have been out there for a long time. Adore You by Harry Styles, just to give you the context that the Sean Ross is saying right here, the song right now is still in the top 30 because of the radio airplay, all right? And the song currently has been on the chart for 42 weeks. It's been on the entire year, basically the entire year of 2020. As for Blinding Lights, it still does well when it comes to streaming, and it does do well due to sales. And that song has been on for 43 weeks. Now, I will admit, Blinding Lights for a song, it is one of the few songs that I can still go back and listen to. It still holds very well. So to have that in power, I can understand why. Adore You, not so much. That's also because there's only a certain amount of room for certain songs that are research and audience metric tested that can stay up at their power rotation because they are forced by the vanguards of corporate radio by telling the program directors, which have the individual program directors that have, or music directors, or program directors that have no say as to what songs they're allowed to play. or what songs they're allowed to add, or what songs they're allowed to report. Let's be honest here. That's what's going on. So with that said, Savage Love right now is number one. When you look at the Hot 100, Savage Love is in the chart at number 9 this week, 15 weeks on. So that's on the normal trend. Now, Jason Derulo, the reason why he's up there is because Jason Derulo has already had quite a bit of run. He's a familiar artist that has come back. So there's one thing there. Harry Styles' Watermelon Sugar. That's another song that's been around for a long time. Currently number 8 on the Billboard chart, 27 weeks on. It's a summer song, still lingering around and still there. When you look at Lewis Capaldi, Before You Go, the follow-up to Someone You Loved, it's crazy if you knew how long the song's been out. Now, yes, think about it like this. The song through streaming has probably been around, I can't even think of how long it's been. If I go look at the official chart right now and pull that up, if I look at their chart right now, and I'm going to say to myself, okay, let's look at what we got. Let me give you this as well. When you're looking at the whole thing, Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles, that song is 33 weeks old in the UK. And the UK official singles chart, that's when the song actually trended on streaming. So the song's been essentially out, been 33 weeks. When you look at Adore You on this particular chart for the official chart, it's not even on the chart for the official singles chart. It's past its run. But that song, again, was on for at least 40 weeks. At the least. Adore You. Because that's when Harry Styles' album came out. So think about it like that. Then you look forward down the line. The Baby Rockstar. That song has been out 23 weeks. So again, it's been around for a long time. For the be power rotation, that's fine. I understand that. That's a song that has been viral. Now, mind you, Rockstar's been around for a long time, and that song, at the same time that Billboard came out with it, was the same time the UK got it. I couldn't tell you how many weeks Rockstar's been on, but I think it's been about 12 weeks or 11 weeks right now. Because remember, it's the 8 to 12 week buffer that corporate radio gives before letting a song make the chart. So Rockstar, Roddy Ricch, DaBaby were not artists that were known into the mainstream radio circle. So they waited until the song was bona fide and waited too late as always. Gabby Barrett, I Hope. Now that song has held up for a long time, and that's also is a top 10 song. 39 weeks on. But that's a song that found its way because it's more or less a country song that got more praise and more viral ability because of the fact that the song got featured with Charlie Puth. So it became more of a pop song. And it is a bit of a pop song. And it's a good pop song. So there's that. Plus, you got adult contemporary that's playing it like crazy. You know, it's part of that whole deal. Surf Mason, IOY, I Love You Baby. That song, I'm trying to remember how long that's been around. 18 weeks on this chart, but I've heard this song much longer than that. IOY is not even on the official chart, but that song is at least 6 months old. And farther than that, because it's a dance song that probably took a long time before it made it to a chart. Let's just be honest. Dua Lipa, Break My Heart is number 8 on the media base. When I look at the Hot 100, 26 weeks on, 6 months on the chart. But again, it's like, it's a top 10 song right now. And it's probably been played over and over. Mood is the most current song right now, but it's such a powerful pop song. You just can't miss on that. But stations have gotten smart. And here's what's going on. Because of the fact that Rockstar got in a little bit early, it might have gotten in a little bit earlier than 12 weeks. Mood has only been out several weeks so far. Now, Mood's been out 7 weeks, and pretty quickly, radio picked on it and jumped up. But really, the other songs that they have, you know, they're working on it, but they are well behind on all of it. BTS Dynamite, they were behind on. And when you look at songs that make their increase up quickly, so like Justin Bieber puts out the song Holy with Chance the Rapper, that song, listen, it's Justin Bieber. So whatever he puts out there is going to make a bump up. He's going to go everywhere quick. You look at Media Base, the plays for that song increased 81%. Just tells you everything. It still was the fastest rising song on their chart of their top 50. Just saying. It takes a lot for that to happen. Just how it is. And again, when you look at the media-based chart, you can also see the decrease is very low for songs because the radio stations want to keep playing it, keep it in power rotation, as Sean Ross says. So, for instance, Adore You has only dropped 2.4% this week, but it's still getting 5,000 spins across the board on all the stations. The top song right now, Savage Love, gets 10,000 plays this week. Watermelon Sugar has dropped only 3.9%. The Baby, 1.3%. Those songs, very little eroding of the plays. So they're not dropping out of power rotation, as Sean Ross says. Let's get back to the story. We've seen an odd compromise where Blinding Lights and Adore You stay in power forever. Streaming hits show up faster, but still stay past their seeming freshness state, while mainstream pop titles have just a moment to either muster up or out. He says that there isn't a successful model, a second model for a different type of top 40 station. Well, there is. Play what's streaming. Play it first. That's what should happen, but they're not. Now, one of the stations that was competing against KISS 108, the long-standing Boston top 40 station, WXKS, they did have a competitor in AMP 103.3. It's a CBS radio affiliate, now Entercom. But that's gone. The station was aggressively finding the streaming hits, having little apparent impact on that other station because it's a legacy station. Plus, radio is not the place you listen for new hits because it wasn't. The people haven't been trained to do that yet. There aren't a lot of station level program or music directors known for their enterprise. A few of them have left the format or the business lately as a result of consolidation and cutbacks, which is the point. My thing is, this has to be a trend. Music, radio, and musicians should get together back on this. Like, there should be an engagement by the music industry with this. And artists shouldn't go ahead and reach out to their listener base, to their fans, get them to go back to engaging radio. Because the more outlets that musicians have, listen, you're not going to get so much from television or other places. You're only going to get so much play. You need to get more people listening to your songs. Radio could be that outlet again. And if you want to make radio something important again, it's done in the UK. The UK, there's a lot of artists that care about what's on the chart. They care what's on the radio. The US has been neglecting music for a long time on the radio. Too long for my taste. So I like the story being brought up here. It's very important. One other thing I want to talk about when it comes to music, which is also a reason why we're hearing more music that's current. And because of the fact of the matter is that if streaming is not going to do it and sales are not going to do it so much, K-pop is finding room in radio, and it could create a renaissance for radio and also help out with the music industry. So BTS has been the talk. Their new album came out. The lead single, Dynamite, that's hitting a lot. Variety.com writes a story how BTS and its army could change the music industry, because this is the latest group that is really getting idol worship. They are the boy band right now that everybody's listening to. That a lot of people, a lot of young girls and a lot of people are listening to right now. There's an army, as they call it. The global brigade of BTS acolytes is collectively known by the acronym ARMY, short for Adorable Representative MC for Youth. It's a moniker chosen by their record label, Big Hit Entertainment. A Twitter audience of 29.2 million followers strong. Listen, if those guys wanted to get on radio, that would get radio back to relevancy. So you want to play BTS on your station if they're able to bring an audience. And if they know that if people that listen to those stations, if they know that BTS's songs are going to be played on there, and maybe have some other K-pop artists in the same vein, then do it. For any stations that are not playing BTS Dynamite right now in power rotation, they are out of their minds. Let's just say it like that.